Hello and welcome to Key Farms. Today we're looking at my first combine that I bought. It's a John Deere 7700 Turbo. It is also a hydrostatic, which I didn't know it was when I bought it, but it's fine. I really like it. So let's take a look at it. So starting off, the tires are in decent shape. We did have to replace the other side's tire, which took like 5 hours. Because they're humongous tires. I'll show a couple of pictures of what the tire looked like before we changed it. As you can see, there's not a lot of rust or anything like that or wear. The belt, there's some belts that I probably do need to replace. All the gears are pretty rounded, so they're not like really crazily used, so they still have a lot of life left in them. It is diesel. It has, I think, a 55-gallon tank, or 56, something like that. We got spreaders on the back of it. I'll show you all the concaves in a second to show how good of shape it's in. Yeah, it's a little faded, but it runs great. It only has 3,100 hours on it. The pipe extends correctly, etc. So let me go show you the concaves up. Okay, so we're on top now. We're opening the cover to the concaves. Yeah, spider webs. That's from last night. All these there were not spider webs last night. As you can see, there's not a lot of like bent concave shakers, etc. knives. These are all in really good shape. Oh, actually there is. There's a couple down there. If you can see that. They're broken, but that ain't bad. So yeah, the concaves and shakers, or whatever it's called, are in really good shape. Close this back up. Now if we go up to the grain bin on top, you'll see that this combine wasn't used very much. As you see, there's not a lot of rust and wear on this thing, unless it got repainted, but I don't think it did. There's not really holes in this grain tank, so that's really good, because these old combines from the 70s are notorious for that. This is from 1972, so it is a little older. I believe this grain tank has a 320 bushel capacity in it, so lots of room. And then back under here is where our air filter is. Not a real convenient place to get to, but it's fine. And then I think this is our pre-air cleaner for the turbo. I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. It's hooked up to the muffler, or the exhaust pipe. Weird. Okay, let me show you all the cab. The reason I didn't refill the hydraulic tank was because it's behind this guard, which if you take this bolt, this bolt, this bolt, this bolt, and this bolt off, and this one to get to it, which took too long, and I was not about to drive 10 hours after doing that. This is the tire we replaced. It also is a little worn down, but it wasn't, the sides weren't weather checked necessarily, and it has a tube in it, so it made it all 120 miles of the drive there. Now time for the tall hike up into the cab. Okay, it's a little dirty in here because I haven't cleaned it out yet. But we got a newer seat than original, because I think the originals were yellow. 4-speed. You put it in whichever gear you're in, and then you got your speed, like variable speed. You push this forward to make it go forward, or you pull it back and like pull this lever up like that and pull it down to make it go in reverse. This knob is for your header height adjustment. You pull it down to make the header go up, you push it down to make the header go down. This knob on this side is for like your reel on your header to make it go up or down, which I will show you on the header that came with it on what I'm talking about there. Then over here you have the red or the yellow lever. You push this forward to engage all the internals on the combine. Now on this one, the electric clutch to engage the header is broken. So the guy I bought it from put a nut through it, or excuse me, a bolt through it. So when you push this lever forward, it engages the internals and the header. Whereas normally you push this lever forward and it just engages the internals, and there's a little knob right here that you'd pull out that would engage the header. What a mouthful. Okay, so here is your throttle. Push it forward, throttles up, etc. This is your concave tightening and loosening setting on here. You roll it forward or backwards, ever set it, however. I think this is your feeder house speed, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. This is also something else that I have yet to figure out. Starter, or keyhole. This is your fuel shut off. Just shut off these old combines. You turn the key off, and then you have to pull this out until the engine completely stops. Warning lights, headlights, and full lights with the warning and headlights. What's on this side? We have a parking brake that may or may not work. I don't know. I drove a little bit and it was still on, so I don't think it works. Probably just have to adjust it. We have this lever over here which turns on the grain auger in the pipe, which I'll show you in a sec. And then this little knob you pull up on, which will put out the grain auger to unload, which is right here, which the grain comes from inside the grain bin and empties out into this auger, which puts it into that auger, which extends out, which would fill into a grain truck. This right here is the feeder house where the header attaches. You drive up onto the header and you lift this entire thing up, and these are like where it locks in, and then it picks the entire thing up. Then you put two pins through right here, which locks the header in place. This is where it like takes all the crop in and goes into the combine, if you can see that back there, and does all of its magic to separate all the grain from the corn stuff. On this gear is like mashed, so I have to replace this whole bracket because there's a washer behind it and it just destroyed that bracket, and this chain's supposed to be running on top of it, not under it. But luckily it didn't need to be working to drive it back the 120 miles back to my farm. So, and then this is how you hook up your header. There's another gear just like this that's on the header side, and it slides over here, and there's a chain that you put in between the two of them, which connects both the gears together. Then you slide your guard over that. So now I'll go show you the headers. Okay, so the combine came with two headers, a pickup header and a wheat header, but can also be used for all grains and soybeans. So it is a 24-foot wide header. This guard on this side is a 224. The guard that covers the chains on the other side is a 924. Just how it is. All the sickles have a lot of teeth left on them, so that's good. If you feel this, there's not like any vibration going up it or down, so it's tight, and it theoretically should cut good from what I know about hay equipment. The paddles on this header are a little bent in some places because previous owner probably ran into something, or the previous owner to him. Then inside there is all of your gears and stuff. This is the 924 shield. And then that other lever I was telling you about in the combine, it's attached to this piston, which pushes the entire reel up or down depending on what height your seed of the crop is, to make it be able to paddle it back in there better. So if you have like a taller header or a taller crop, you raise that up. And then this is where the other side gear is, and it just slides on, and then you put the train over it and the guard. This is where it hooks into your header up there, if that makes sense. And then where do the nuts go through? Oh, the nuts go, or the bolts go into there to make sure the header doesn't come off while you're going down the road or harvesting. Now, this header did come on a header trailer, so that was easier. We just backed it onto a different trailer to bring it back here because, as you can see, this tire would not have made it 120 miles back to where our farm is. even at 12 miles an hour, which is how fast the combine was going. So the second header it came with was a makeshift pickup header. The guy who owned it 2 owners ago built this from scratch or whatever. It came with a pickup header, or a pickup attachment, that he just strapped onto a regular header, and it apparently worked. I'm probably never going to use it, but I can use the regular header for parts and etc. And these are your hydraulic hookups that hook up to the combine. Same with that other header, they just hook up. And then also your attachment points, etc. This header did come on that pickup header. So we had to pick this header off of the pickup, or the header trailer, and we picked it up with 2 tractors, set it off, took this trailer back to where the combine was, loaded that header up, put the header and header trailer on another trailer, and drove that behind the combine all the way back. This one's in rough shape, and I don't know what type this is. As you can see, it's ground off, so there's not really one for that. But anyhow, that's the combine that I've bought. It's my first combine. I want to get into row crop farming. It was really cheap, and I was just like, I won't see a combine this cheap in this great of working condition again. So I messaged him. He was like, yeah, sure, you can come look at it. So I bought it and then drove it back 120 miles, which took 10 hours. Okay, this is how you take the seat out of a 7700 combine. Here, this thing, or this pin will be going through here. There's a cotter key here, cotter key here. You pull those cotter keys out, you pull one end, because this whole bar moves out, if that makes sense. And then you'll pull that second one out, and then you just remove your seat. Oh, there's a seat rest adjust. That would have been nice for my 10-hour drive in this thing. Now, let's pull this sucker out so we can watch the seat and the combine. Oh man, I almost fell back off. That would have been like a 6.5 foot drop. Yeah, it actually would have been 6.5 because I'm 6'5", and this combine is as tall as me. I wonder how many spiders there are in this seat. I hate spiders. This combine has a mother load of them. Shoot. There we go. Now we can watch this puppy out. So that was fun in the combine. Thanks for watching. See you later.